Well, this is Bill Steffen. Hope you had yourself a great weekend. We had a little bit of fog in the early morning, and that'll be the case this morning as well. But on the whole, partly sunny to mostly sunny skies and some average temperatures to pleasant temperatures, I guess you could call it, with readings averaging now in the low 60s. And excuse me just a minute. I have a cat that wants to kind of use me as a scratch pad here, and that won't work. Let's go on and take a look at some of the slides here and get us going. Some high temperatures for Sunday, made 70 at Hillsdale and Jackson, Kalamazoo stopping at 69, Ionia and Ludington at 68, Grand Rapids down there at 66, and the Holland Beach kind of dragging a bit where the wind was coming off the water a little bit more, and of course an east wind comes right down the channel off the water from Lake Makatawa. They had a high of 62. Our sunrise time continues to come later and our sunset earlier. Sun's setting right now around 7 o'clock in the evening. 7:53 is our sunrise time, and there's a picture from Windmill Island on Sunday. It was a beautiful day there, and you can see some people walking around enjoying the day. We're down to 11 hours and 9 minutes of daylight. Average high and low temperature now 62 and 43. Record high for today was pretty warm, 87 degrees and 75. That was the year that the Edmund Fitzgerald sank, and we had a huge, gigantic low-pressure system that year in November, early November. Record low temperature 24 in 1993. And we'll take a look at the lake forecast here for you for tomorrow. It should be a pretty good day. And boy, this has been a great early fall for boating. Just amazing. Southeast winds most of the day. May shift to the north toward the evening here, toward late afternoon or evening. Waves should be around a foot. And you can see the water temperatures there. Holland is a channel water temperature. South Haven at 61, and Reed's Lake dropped 1 to 65. The Holland Channel there showing some boats going by from time to time. There was a lot of sunshine, beautiful day. All right, we're going to take time out and thank one of our sponsors, Ace Hardware Handyman.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, the moon's at about half right now, about 55-60%. And as we go through the week, it'll kind of revert back to a crescent stage. You'll be able to see it during the early morning here. Taking a look at the severe weather here for the day on Sunday, there was none. No reports received. We'd like to see that. There were a lot of places that had some heavy rain, but no reports of any severe weather. Here's what we have coming up for the next couple of days. We'll take a look at Monday first, and Monday's map shows that there is a marginal or level 1 risk of severe weather in parts of the western United States. And we'll take a look at that right now if we could see that Monday map. And you'll be able to see that it includes parts of the California coastline. You don't see that too terribly often. And we'll be seeing another round of showers and thunderstorms out in Arizona, where they've had some very heavy rainfall out in that area. And we've been, again, on the low side in terms of rainfall here in West Michigan. So we can go on to that next map and see if we can take a look at that. There's the severe threat for Monday. No storms in Michigan. Could be a thunder shower in some of the East Coast cities there, Boston, New York, down toward Baltimore perhaps. But looking out west, could there be a heavy thunder shower in Los Angeles? I don't know, some gusty winds along the coastline. And you can see the moisture from tropical storms continues to come up over the mountains in Mexico and up into Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. Let's go on to the next map and show you that things don't change a whole lot here. We still got areas where there's a marginal risk for a strong wind gust in California and also in New Mexico. No storms for Michigan expected here this week. Well, let's take a look at some of the rainfall out west, and this is pretty amazing. Look at that, East Mesa, Arizona. That's 3.22 inches of rain. Of course, that will bring some flooding. Phoenix, 1.96. Isn't that something? Almost 2 inches of rain in 24 hours. Tucson had almost an inch. Flagstaff off to the north, not quite so much, but a very wet day across portions, not all, but portions of the state of Arizona. And taking a look at our 66-hour rainfall map, you'll be able to see that we've got some fairly heavy rain in California, especially in the mountainous areas there north and north of Los Angeles. But a lot of the west is going to be seeing some rain here. I didn't see any rain at Las Vegas, but their temperature was only in the low to mid 70s, which is kind of a cool day for them. You can see the rain that's going to fall, more rain in Arizona, New Mexico, up into Colorado. Some rain starting to spill off into the plain states, including Wisconsin, picks up a few scattered showers, but nothing for lower Michigan. And you can see the rain out east where Cape Cod, that Boston area, could see a couple of inches of rain from that kind of modified nor'easter that was working its way off the coast. Not quite a hurricane and not quite the same structure, but certainly a very wet storm for them here for this time of year. On we go. Let's take a look at the tropics. In the Western Atlantic, there is one area where a tropical storm could develop. It's about a 40 or 50% chance. It looks like it's no threat for land. It will turn north well before it gets to Bermuda. It may actually go toward the Canary Islands of all places. And the next storm, by the way, we had Karen, which was way up north and lasted less than a day before it kind of fell apart. But the next one is going to be Lorenzo, and after that, Melissa gets a hurricane name. We'll probably go to those two names here before the month of October is over. We go to the Eastern Pacific Ocean, and you'll be able to see a yellow X. Yellow X means only a 10 or 20% chance of development. Other than that, there's not much there, but these systems continue to develop, and basically they don't produce a lot of heavy weather in terms of strong wind or anything like that, but they do pump moisture up into the southwest. The next system is going to be Sonia, and after that, Tico in the Eastern Pacific. Now we go to the Western Pacific, and there's only one system to talk about there. You can see it to the south of Japan, and it's moving pretty much from left to right, and it will pretty much avoid Japan, bring them some clouds, some high seas there, but really no major problems expected with that. After that, there's nothing much going on, and that is unusual. We haven't had much activity in the Western Pacific Ocean here this hurricane season. On we go. Take a look at headlines. Partly sunny skies expected today, not totally sunny. An overall dry pattern coming up this week, though there could be an isolated shower or sprinkle. Most likely time for that would be Tuesday night. And fairly mild temperatures. We'll be seeing readings today about 10 degrees warmer than average, up into the low 70s here during the afternoon. Our forecast for today looks like this. I think we're going to go with 72, a few spots 73. There'll be some patchy fog here during the early morning. Humidity down to 55% in the afternoon. Winds mostly southeast and fairly light, only about 5 to 10 miles an hour. High temperatures on the day today should be about as warm at the lake as they will be in inland areas. You can see we've got 68 at South Haven. The north wind could develop late in the day, can knock the temperature down just a couple of degrees at the lakeshore, but not much going on. South Bend gets a 74. Chicago's at 72. Just a really pleasant day temperature-wise once again. I like these days because we don't need a whole lot of heat from the furnace, and we don't need a lot of air conditioning. So we're kind of saving money on both ends of the spectrum there. Let's go to Tuesday. Tuesday's temperatures will be a couple degrees cooler, but no big deal. 70 for Grand Rapids. Now, we'll be a little cooler off to the north by about 10 degrees. Traverse City there at 61, Gaylord at 58. So if you're traveling north on Tuesday, temperatures will be a touch cooler there. Marquette only getting about 52 for a high temperature here Tuesday afternoon. 5-day forecast looks like this. We'll call it partly sunny right on through the period. The chance of rain at 30% Tuesday, that would actually be Tuesday night. I think most all of Tuesday should be dry. And maybe 20% at daybreak on Wednesday, but Wednesday afternoon should be dry. There could be some scattered frost here Thursday morning. We got to 37 last time in Grand Rapids, and a lot of the outlying areas picked up a little frost. But we start to warm up again, and you can see these 8 to 14 day outlook continues to show the temperatures here a little bit warmer than average. Cool weather continues out in the southwest, where there'll be a bit more cloud cover. And in terms of rainfall for the 8 to 14 day period, we should be near average here in West Michigan for rainfall. So all in all, a pretty good week coming up to be outdoors, to head out and get pumpkin if you don't have one yet, get some fresh Michigan apples. There's the near normal precipitation expected. It could actually turn out to be slightly below average, but the wettest areas would be the Pacific Northwest and down in the southeastern U.S. We got some extra slides for you today. This one, a follow-up to yesterday, the longest professional baseball game, April 18 to 19, 1981, which was Easter weekend. That's pretty much the kind of the start of the season back in 1981. All rule books except 1981 called a curfew to stop games over 12:50 a.m. Pawtucket versus Rochester, AAA minor league. The game eventually was stopped at inning 32. Can you believe that? This is a 9-inning game, so we're talking about like 4 games going on here. Inning 33 held 2 months later. Future Hall of Famers Wade Boggs and Cal Ripken played in that game. 1,740 people attended at the start. 20 were left at the 32nd inning. Isn't that amazing? Score exhibit at Pawtucket Stadium 2017. Wow. So there's something that you may not know, but there's a lot of statistics involved in baseball, and a lot of interesting statistics. I thought that one where the guy was both the batter and the catcher the pitcher of record at the same time was an incredibly goofy statistic. If you didn't hear me talk about that one, the guy's at bat and he gets a couple pitches and the count's, 1-1 or something like that. And they stopped the game because of rain. Well, they didn't start the game again until 2 months later, when they decided that the game mattered in terms of who was going to go on to the playoffs. So this guy that was batting is in the meantime traded to the guy that was to the team that was in the field. And so he was the catcher at the time for the team that was on the field, but he was still the batter of record for the team that was batting. So they had to have a pinch hitter for him. That was what the rule stated, or I guess maybe they made this up since they hadn't come up with this plan yet. But eventually they finished that game. So this is interesting. But that's amazing. A 33 inning game. That was in Pawtucket versus Rochester back in 1981. Wow. All right, let's see what else we got here. October 13th, 1777, Congress established the Continental Navy. And of course, that makes it 250 years old this day. It was the precursor to today's U.S. Navy. At first, the Navy protected American trade. And of course, it does so much more now. It wasn't maintained after the American Revolution. It was restarted again in 1794. And thanks to all of you who serve in the U.S. Navy, anchors away. Let's go on to the next slide. First modern World Series. That's an interesting picture. Purportedly Game 3 in Boston. Wow, that's pretty amazing. The precursor to Fenway Park. Between Pittsburgh and the Boston Americans. Best of 9 series. Boston wins 5-3. So very interesting. We got the World Series coming up. I guess it's always been held in October. I've had the impression that they've kind of moved it back a little bit, but it's always finished up here in October. Okay, what else do we have here? From Sally, farm field looking west in Byron Center early Saturday morning. Is that a shelf cloud? There's a sharp contrast between the gray clouds and the blue sky. There certainly is. Sometimes we see that dark line like that, demarcation, where on one side you're getting either sinking motion or the air is a little bit drier and you don't get the cloud formation. Cloud is really fog up in the air. So if you were going up there, that's what it would kind of look like. Hard to tell if that's a shelf cloud or not. I'm kind of guessing not at this point, but I'd have to be there to take a look at it. An interesting field. A lot of the soybeans have turned yellow. If you look at satellite pictures, they're green during the summer. And as we get into October, as the corn and soybeans all dries out, then the ground turns that yellowish tannish color you can see from the air like that. Thanks for the picture, Sally. We've got a couple more pictures to show you. This is from Dave Verhoeven, the New River Gorge Bridge in West Virginia. The National Park Service has turned a 40-minute drive into less than a minute. 3,031 feet long, about 2/3 of a mile, and 876 feet above the river. That's quite a gorge. Did you know they had that in West Virginia? So very interesting. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, I saw somebody bungee jumping off that bridge, and I'm like, I think I'll pass on that idea. But neat bridge. There's some great hiking trails in the New River area there, and great place to take a tubing trip with your church or your youth group or whatever. They go down the New River sometimes, and a very pleasant experience. Okay, what else we got here for us? We got a couple more pictures to show you. This is from John Kimball, Burt Lake. Burt Lake and Mullet Lake, I've said, are kind of twin lakes split by I-75. We've got one nice cumulus cloud up there in the sky made up of little tiny water droplets. And the boating season, I tell people, I said the fall can be a great time for boating, especially September. Very often the water temperatures are actually warmer in early October than they are in early May. So early May and even early June. So that's a pleasant day. So John, thanks for sending that along. What a great day. The water looks calm there. We've had a lot of days with light winds. And we have another picture to share with you here. The last slide made me think of a question, Bill. Have you ever done a polar bear plunge? I don't think I ever have. I judged one, the Valentine's Day one, the Heart of Rockford one in Rockford, Michigan. I've done that before. I did jump in a lake in Vermont on kind of a dare. The water temperature was 47. It was summer. It was a spring-fed lake in northern Vermont. We were up close to Canada. And I went out there for a couple of weeks to visit a friend of mine. And it was kind of on a dare. Can you swim out to the island? And, of course, we were absolutely frozen by the time we got out to the island. Not something that I would ever suggest anyone to do or that I would ever do again. But no, technically, I don't think I've ever done a polar bear plunge. From John Doherty, we have, looks like 6 mums and a pumpkin. And let me tell you, if you want to see mums, go to the Meyer Gardens. They have more mums than I think I've ever seen anywhere in my life. Great place to see mums. Of course, John is up in Benzie County. My wife just spent a day up there toward Benzie County, had a piece of cherry pie up there, and had a good time running the, the M22 highway around Leelanau County there. But a lot of people have those mums out, and my mums that are planted in the garden are blooming very nicely now. Very pretty to see. Thank you, John. And we have another picture to show you. This is from John Scully. Some high-level clouds, some cirrus, the little wisps that you see right there. These clouds are made up of tiny ice crystals. Look at the bright blue sky. Kind of a good camera that you can take pictures and get that vivid blue out of there. And the clouds, of course, are up high enough. If you were up there in a situation like this, you might be more apt to see a plane make a jet contrail because the cirrus cloud's indicating there's a little bit more moisture up there at that high level. So thanks to all of you for the pictures. You can send them to us here at bill@billsteffen.com. We'll show them, share with everybody, tell us about your picture, and if you have any other comments or anything you'd like us to talk about. We do the daily weather here, and we're here almost every day. I think we've only missed a couple of days since we started back January 1, and we hope you enjoy what we do. Have yourself a great day today, and happy Columbus Day.